6 months in, 6 more months to go. That's the stark reality for us all as the country faces up to the latest restrictions being imposed to tackle coronavirus. It's exactly 6 months since the Prime Minister announced that nationwide lockdown, which changed really absolutely every aspect of life from birth to death and pretty much everything in between. We'll be looking at how our health services coped and also at the political fallout. But first, here's our social affairs correspondent Jeremy Ball with how it's changed all of our lives.
Who would have predicted that the East Midlands in 2020 would look like this?
But no antibacterial hand wash at all.
The empty shelves, the empty streets, a different way of life.
From this evening, I must give the British people a very simple instruction. You must stay at home.
Lockdown meant some of the most draconian restrictions we've seen in living memory.
I'm feeling depressed, down.
A response so extreme because the threat was so deadly.
Ready, steady, 90.
The threat from a highly contagious, invisible virus. A virus that's now claimed over 4,000 lives here in the East Midlands.
Please do not travel if you're feeling unwell or have any symptoms of the coronavirus.
If you travelled in time from last Christmas, this would have been baffling. Remember when keeping 2 metres apart used to be antisocial? Remember when the country was preoccupied by divisions over Brexit? Remember when pandemics were the stuff of science fiction? But coronavirus has changed all that, and there's no sign it's going away.
And of course, hospitality, that's been particularly badly hit by restrictions over the last 6 months. Jeremy joins us now from a restaurant in Leicestershire. Good evening, Jeremy.
Hello, Anne. Yeah, they opened this Nepalese restaurant in Wigston just a few weeks before lockdown began, and it was really a struggle to make ends meet before those new restrictions came into force in Oadby and Wigston this week. Of course, from tomorrow they're going to have to close from 10 o'clock as well. Let's talk to the owner here. Bevek, how much of a struggle has it been to stay in business here?
I mean, it has been quite tough. Nowadays, especially, it's been over a week now since this new rule came up. I mean, and then from tomorrow it's going to be 10 o'clock. So we don't know what we're going to do. I mean, regarding the customer, what's the last time we're going to let them in for dine-in? You know, I mean, because
all very confusing, and the Prime Minister's made the point, of course, that this virus is spreading, and surely some restrictions now are much better than going back to a complete lockdown later.
Well, I prefer, better if we go back to lockdown rather than being like this, because everyone is confused. And also in a business-wise as well, what I need to look also if we go back to lockdown, at least we are able to save some, in a labour or maybe the costing, all that one.
Vivek, thanks for joining us. Of course, these restrictions coming in nationally, these 10 o'clock closures of pubs and restaurants from tomorrow night, Anne.
And how are they going to be enforced?
Well, first of all, tougher penalties, £200 minimum fines if you break the restrictions, if you gather in groups of more than 6, if you don't wear face coverings when you're supposed to. The government also putting more money in for the policing of this. Now, the Police and Crime Commissioner in Nottinghamshire says that money isn't nearly enough, and he wants officers there to be encouraging people and to be explaining these rules rather than getting tough straight away.
OK, Jeremy, thanks indeed for that.